What's up everyone, I hope you're all good. Today we are going to be having a look at my games room. We're going to be doing a complete tour, starting with PC, going on to home consoles, arcade, handhelds, games, trinkets, sound system, TV, everything, you name it. I really hope you enjoy the video, and without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so we'll start off with my PC section. This is it over here, right in the corner. I do like this section. I use it quite a lot for working, PC and video editing. We'll start off with the chair. The chair I am currently using is a GT Omega. It's not a full racing chair, but it's quite similar. It's very, very comfortable. I got the one for sort of XL sizes because it was a little bit wider and had better cushioning. And it was a good choice, to be honest. It's really, really comfortable. The microphone that I use is a Yeti GX. And I've got the Logitech boom arm as well. So it's really, really good. I just pull this down when I need it, and it just sort of stays out of the way. A lot of the stuff that I've done in this room is to make things very clean. I do have a young child that gets into everything, so I like things out the way as best I can. At the top here, we've got a little Zelda picture, which I quite like. The camera that I use is an Elgato Facecam Pro. That's a 4K 60Hz camera. It's a webcam, but the quality is really, really good. I do film all of my videos with that one at the moment. In terms of lighting that I use for my videos, I've got a backlighter here. It's a Logitech Beam GX. This is really, really good, this thing. I can extend it, turn it around. I've got front and back lighting as well. So I can use it as my key light when I move it to the side. But typically, when I just sit on my chair now, I just use it as a backlight. So it gives a nice glow. I don't know whether that's coming across on the camera okay, but there's a nice glow behind the monitor. And at night, that looks really, really nice and just gives a bit of comfort on your eyes. Below that, we've got my Stream Deck. I use that for a lot of sort of automation and multitasking stuff. I do use it for streaming and recording and just general Windows tools as well. I've got a Logitech wireless keyboard and mouse that I use. And over here, we have got my 8-bit Do wireless. I've actually moved the buttons around. It used to be B there and A there. It's the one that comes with it's the Ultimate, the one that's built for the Switch. But you can order the buttons to swap them around online, which I did. Behind that, I've got my Steam Deck OLED. To the left of it, I've got another extendable pole, which I use for my other Litra light, which I use as my fill light for my streaming, etc. Below that, I have got my headphones. These are Arctis Pro wireless. I've upgraded the ear cups on those to make those a little bit more comfortable and breathable. This is my PC. Just get under the table really quickly and just give you an idea of what that looks like. Now I've got my channel logo. I don't know whether you can see that on my CPU cooler. This machine is pretty powerful. It's not quite the best. We've got a 4800 in it and a 5850 X3D. I'm looking at upgrading next year. I'm going to go Mammoth, fully water cooled, and probably the 5090 when it's released. So looking forward to doing a build on that, and I may show you guys once I've built that. Just down the side here and out the way, that is my Elgato green screen. One of the better products that Elgato make. I'm really, really impressed with that. Some of the stuff that I would not recommend from Elgato is their key light and their teleprompter, which were absolutely awful. But anyway, so that is the PC setup. We're going to get on to the console setup next. Okay, so this is probably the main area. This is my main console and TV setup. We've got the sofa here, which is just an L sofa. I've got my surround sound speakers. I actually used PC surround sound speakers for my setup here. They're Logitech ones. But the sound is really, really great. The reason I use those is because they're a little bit smaller. I didn't want to get a sound bar. The TV's got a very low profile, and I didn't have the space for larger speakers. But for the room and the setup, it's really, really good. The TV itself is a LG C1. The reason I bought that is when I got the new consoles, I wanted to get something that was 4K, 120 Hz compatible. Now let's go through the console setup that I've got. There is a theme. I've tried to make all of the consoles black as best I can. So starting off, I've got the standard PS5. I didn't bother going for the Pro because I've really hated this generation. I don't want to pump any more money into it, if I'm quite honest with you. Xbox Series X in the background. Not much to say about that either, to be honest. So the storage that I've used for this is fully Kallax, and I've upgraded them. So IKEA, they do sell these little inserts which have glass doors on, such as this. So they open them up, keeps my son away from things, keeps the dust out of things, and you can store sort of 2 consoles in each one. Now, if you want to wire those, you have to drill holes in the back. The way I've set this up to make things as clean as possible is none of these consoles are plugged in, but I will get to how I sort of play those really quickly later on. If you stick around, you'll see that. So I've got my Xbox 360e console. I've got about 400 games for these. They're all up in the loft. I don't have space to display them at the moment, but I will get them on display soon. Below that is my OG Xbox. This has been highly, highly modified. It's got an 8 terabyte hard drive. Every single Xbox original game is installed on it, amongst others as well. It's an absolute mammoth of a mod. Everything's been sort of upgraded. All the capacitors have been changed, the fan's been changed, the CPU, thermal paste has been changed to make things run properly and as they should. So below that we have got the sub for the 5.1 unit. In the first section here we have got our Core Graphics Mini. It wasn't released in the UK, but I wanted to give it a go. There were some really, really good shooters on it. I quite enjoyed it. Below that is my PS1. I do have an original PS1 and many original PS1 games, but I haven't had that modified yet to work on a HD TV. All of these consoles that I will show you today do work on HD TV in one way or another, and that was one of the main things for me. I didn't want a CRT TV, I didn't have space for it because of the size of the TV that I've got, so I just wanted to have it like that. But I will eventually have a CRT set up with my original PlayStation, or I'll do a HDMI mod on the original hardware. But for now, that is a PS1 Mini, and that has been modded to include all the games that I own. Below that, we have got a modified PS2. It's HDMI modified, and that also has all the games that I have in storage modded on it. Once again below that, apologies, it's getting quite dark here, but that is a PS3. I don't actually have any games for that anymore at the moment, but I intend to start collecting for that. At some point, once the games get a bit sort of dirt cheap, I'll start collecting for that one and building up that collection. Here's where I get to the interesting stuff. This one is a Mega SG, and for those of you who don't know that, it's an FPGA machine which plays Mega Drive games. Now with the cartridge in there, I can actually play 32X games, Mega CD games, Mega Drive and Master System. So that's pretty much everything on those consoles is there. The next one below is my Dreamcast. Probably my most modified of all the machines. I've got an optical drive in there. I've installed all the games that I own on the optical drive. It's HDMI out, it's got a new power supply, it's got a new fan, it glows in blue. I've reshelled it because the shell was starting to fade a little bit. It's a very, very modified, very clean Dreamcast that basically plays all the games. Underneath here, I've got the Mega Drive 1 and 2 Mini. I haven't done anything with those, to be honest, because all the games that I own are on this system. But I just wanted to collect them. I think they look really, really cool. I didn't own an original Mega Drive or Mega Drive 2 anymore, so I just thought, well, I'll get those, and that will sort of fulfill that nostalgic look for me. Below's my Saturn, again, highly modified. Same with the Dreamcast, wireless pads, HDMI, optical drive. So it plays all the games, everything wireless, and everything connects to an HD TV. So moving on to my Nintendo section, this is the Super NT. Again, an analog, FPGA machine. This has got all the games on it as well. So has my N64. My N64 games are up in the loft, so I've got those sort of installed amongst some homebrews on the EverDrive 64. That is an Ultra HDMI N64, so it's an N64 that will work on modern TVs and display in 1080p, which is really, really good. I have ordered a analog 3D, which is basically by the guys that made these two. It's an N64 FPGA machine. Apparently displays in 4K, so I'm really, really looking forward to that one, because the N64 was one of my favourite consoles, and I have a lot of fond memories about that one. Coming down below that, I have got my black Wii and Wii U. Both of these consoles are also modified. Again, all my games are in storage to keep them out of the way, out of dirty little hands like my son's. So everything's sort of digitized. Obviously these are both HDMI, and all the games that I owned are on these, so I can play them without actually putting anything in. Going over to more Nintendo stuff, we've got a Super Nintendo, again, mini system, unmodified, because I have all the other games on the console to the left. Below, I have my OG Switch. Love this machine, absolutely amazing. Best out of this current generation. I don't care if the graphics are a bit whack and old-fashioned, but it's brilliant. I've got the Hori Pad Split Pros on those. Really comfortable if you've got slightly larger hands or anything larger than a small girl, which the normal joysticks are sort of made for. Below that, we have got the NES. NES Mini. Again, I don't have the original hardware, so I wanted to get something that I can play on modern TVs. Below that one, I have a very, very highly modified GameCube. Again, it's got an optical drive. It has all of my games installed on that. It's got a Game Boy player with a flash cart in it, which means I've got all of my Game Boy games on it as well. It's also HDMI. I've also got 4 Wavebird controllers as well, so everything's wireless. So basically what I'm trying to do here is to make everything a little bit modernized, but still use original hardware or FPGA, making sure that I can play all the original games in the absolute best way I can. So moving on to the next section, I've got my Oculus Quest 3, and if you can see, the controllers are black. That's because they are the sort of pro controllers that came out with their really, really high-end one. They were about £300 for those, but they're really good because they have camera tracking included, so you can put your hand behind your back, and it's like having full 360 tracking. It's a lot better. There is my Evercade VS, that is the Founders Edition. Love the Evercade, got a complete collection thus far. We'll get into that a little bit further down the line. The next one is the Commodore 64 Mini. These are all my home computer minis now. I wasn't really into these home computers when I was younger, but I do like them. I like collecting the minis, and like having a look at these as well. So we've got the A500 Mini Amiga. Coming up here, we've got the Atari, and a recent purchase is the Spectrum Mini. Now, how I play all of these games is I keep all of their wires in a plastic bag with their name on it. So if I ever want to play something, I go into one of these 4 Kallax boxes and pull out the bag with their name. So their name will say N64, for example, and then all the wires that I need to plug them in and connect them up are in here. So I'll just open this up, put the console down here, and yeah, just plug it in. So I've got a HDMI out there, I've got power, USB-C, USB-A, etc, etc. TV itself, obviously I went through that. As you can see, I've painted the wall at the back black, which is quite cool because it diffuses the lighting and it looks like there's just a band of blue. But essentially I've got 2 Philips lights behind there that sort of shine up at the ceiling and give this sort of nice glow. That can be changed depending on your mood to any colour you want. Everything's controlled by Google, and I've got the sort of Google speaker there, which really is a small speaker, but it's loud enough to fill up the whole section. It's really, really good, to be honest. I'll just step back a little bit and just give you an idea of what that is. But the TV is massive, and yeah, it's great just sort of sitting back and having a look at all these consoles. I really enjoy it. Anyway, let's go over to the arcade section. Okay, so this is the arcade section. I'm actually going to be ordering a full cab. So in the next video, that is going to sit in that place. But for now, I've just had a Evercade Alpha Deluxe system delivered, which I'm really enjoying, and that's why I'm buying the full cab. I'm going to get a full cab with guns and about 15,000 games on, so I'm really looking forward to that at some point, but just got to convince the girlfriend of that one. So this is a disc plate, Zelda, one of my favourite franchises. Just got a disc plate up there for that. To the left of it, I've got a Govee light, or a Govee lamp. That does hundreds of different things with the app. I've just got it on some sort of chill blue flow at the moment. It's a little bit like a lava lamp, but LED. This system itself, I've got about 600 games for because I've got the full collection. But it's really good. If you haven't seen it before, you've got 2 slots at the bottom so you can put your Evercade things in. It's got SamWire controls, pretty high quality screen. It's just on demo mode at the moment. And before I mentioned about how I sort of set things up and where all my cables are, etc. Everything's sort of packed away in here so I can look at things, and just this one here, that's my N64. So it's everything I need from my N64. They're all bagged away to keep them dust free, and they're all sort of organised. So I've got all of my pads, wires, etc. on filming equipment in there. So that's the sort of mid-section. Let's get over to the last section. Okay, so this is the final section. This is where I keep all my sort of games and trinkets. Now, I did say previously that I've got a lot of stuff in storage. It is a limited space that I've got, as you can see, going around. It is my lounge. I do have a child, so I want to keep him out of as much as I can, to be honest, hence all the glass doors and everything. But here I just have a lot of the stuff that I currently use. It does swap out quite a bit, so on my Games Room Tour next year it could be completely different. But for the most of it, everything is stored in storage upstairs. So I've got everything in boxes and sort of hidden away. Thousands of games, to be fair. But let's have a look at what we've got here at the moment. At the top we've got the question mark light and the star light. Which sort of project stars at the top. These were dirt cheap from Amazon, maybe about £20 each, if that, but I think they're really good. They add a nice backdrop when I'm doing videos as well. Up there we've got Banjo-Kazooie, one of my favourite franchises. I've just used that to hold sort of keys at this moment in time. We'll have a quick look at the games that I've got. There's about 70 or 80, I would say. I did have a few hundred, maybe 250, 300 Switch games. I got rid of most of them. I just felt like they were just sort of shelf dust, to be honest. So I just got rid of them and reinvested my money into other things that I thought I'd use a little bit more. There's some Nintendo lights there. We've got Boom, Mushroom, and then a sort of Mario 8-bit mix. Then we've got my Evercade collection. This is the full Evercade collection. You will notice that some of these are sealed. There's hundreds of games. I just haven't had a chance to go through all of them at this moment in time. But I really enjoy the Evercade. I've got all three ways to play it: the home console, the arcade, and the handheld. These are my handheld machines down here. So I've got the NES Game Boy SP. That one's modified with a new sort of OLED screen and a rechargeable USB-C battery pack. I've got the Analog Pocket, which is quite a sought after FPGA console. I've got my Game Gear, quite a special machine for me because this was really my first entry into gaming when I was younger. This one has been modified with a better screen and again rechargeable batteries. I've got my SNES 3DS, quite a pricey machine nowadays. Mine's modified again, so I've got my full collection on there. You can see a sort of theme building here. I modify things, put my full collection on them and put my games in storage to keep things as clean as possible. Same again with my PSP, modified, full collection on there, games away. Same on my PS Vita. EXP, obviously I've got the games out on display at this moment in time and the full collection on show. This is quite a cool console. It is an arcade stick that you plug into your TV and it has the full library of SNK games, and you can plug in 2 other control pads in it and have sort of 3-player. And this one down the bottom, I've got my Darth Vader head, which just lights up. But on top of that is a Pandora's Box 2-player arcade machine. It's got about 3,200 games on there. It's pretty decent. I quite enjoy that. And everything, again, is sort of hidden behind glass doors to keep the greasy hands of my toddler away from it. And this cupboard at the moment, again, it changes all the time, but there's just a lot of Nintendo plushes. I'll just have a quick look through those. And then at the bottom, I've got a couple of board games, and that's about it. Okay, that's it. I really hoped you enjoyed the video. It was really good fun for me, this one, because it was good to have a look back over the stuff that I've collected over the years. It'd be great to hear from you guys, so please drop a comment down below. Let us know whether you like the setup. Let us know whether there's something you think I should change or something you feel I should add. And if you've done one yourself, drop a link down to the video below. It'd be great to see those. Anyway, take care, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.